What up, Wastelanders? Christopher here, Gaslands NorCal. Thanks for joining me once again for another conversion video. Now this time we're doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be trying out a newer product, newer to me anyway, from Monument Hobbies Pro Acryl, their Newsh. So what this is obviously an acrylic weathering medium that you mix with their acrylic paints or any acrylic paints and make it into a wash. Now I tried this on one other vehicle just using some brown gray to make kind of a grunge wash, and it worked out pretty well. So I'm gonna kind of push the envelope a little bit and do something a little bit different with this stuff. I'm gonna be using this let's see what we got here, a 71 Plymouth and a 67 Charger. Now you can see I've already stripped these down and primed them and everything, but I'm gonna paint the Plymouth in a white blue and then use the Newsh with the dark blue, see what that does. And then on the Charger, I'm gonna be basing that in the golden yellow and then gonna be Newshing it with some Pyrrole red. Really kind of interested to see how these are going to turn out. Looking forward to doing it. So let's get in and get these things based up with the first base coat, and then we will Newsh it. Let's do it. All right, so we are all based up with the yellow and the white, blue, white, lighter blue, whatever you want to call it. One of the things you guys have made in comments from my previous videos is you like when I kind of explained what I'm doing as I'm doing it, which I kind of skipped over a little bit before. When I was doing the airbrushing with the Monument Hobbies, I like to use the AK acrylic thinner. Put in a couple, 3 drops of the thinner and then a few drops of the acrylic paint, mix it all up till it gets into a consistency where it's runny but not like really watery, and it goes on pretty well. As you can see, looking pretty good. Some paints work better than others. Obviously I use Monument Hobbies pretty much exclusively, so that's the ratio that I use. Alright, so now on to the Newsh. Now for the Newsh, what Monument Hobbies recommends is 1 drop of paint for 3 drops of the Newsh, and then a drop of water to make it kind of runny, and then wipe it on with a larger brush, and then wipe it off with a makeup sponge, which didn't really kind of think this through, and I don't really have a specific makeup sponge to do that, so I have kind of a wipe thing that we're going to try out and see if that works. But it's just a test. All in all, you know, at the end of the day, it's Gasland, so if it doesn't look perfect, whatever. So let's get on to some Newshing. We're going to start with the blue. The red I'm really kind of excited about. I hope that works out really cool. Could be some really cool stuff for flames and stuff in the future. So we're going to use this dark blue with the Newsh on the light blue, and we'll see how that turns out. So let's get this all mixed together and we will Newsh it. Alright, so 1 drop of paint. Oh, there's 2. Well, that'll work. And 3 drops of the Newsh. Alright, and then a little bit of water to get more of the runny consistency. Maybe too much water. And mix it all up, and then just kind of slather it on there. And then with the makeup sponge white thing that we're going to use, just kind of go in and wipe it off. So yeah, let's see what it does. Alright, let's move on to the red, and we'll see what that does on the yellow. Blue's pretty cool. Wasn't just sure exactly what I was going to expect, but just gives it kind of a different effect. I like how it fills in the gaps and everything. Not too bad. Let's do the red. Alright, well that's kind of different. It adds, you know, like the blue and the red into the deep crevices and everything, kind of like a wash would normally. And they also say that I think that the water will activate it even more. You kind of can do some more stuff with it. So let's play around with that and see what that does. All right, and you can see it's different. It's definitely a wash. Not exactly what I expected. I think that's probably what I expected, just getting kind of the recesses and stuff. The one that I did before, like I said, using the brown gray to grime it, we're gonna do that as well with these ones, so I can show you, so it's looking more Gaslands and stuff, and that one I think turned out really cool. So let's get that going, and I will show you how it turns out. I think I'm going to use some other paints as well. Maybe I'll use this petroleum brown, give it kind of a wet, muddy look. That should turn out pretty cool. So yeah, let's see how it turns out, and we'll go from there. All right. So there they look with the Newsh with the petroleum brown on it. Just give it a kind of a different, dirty, grungy kind of look. Interesting, you know. May or may not be for you. Maybe another tool in your arsenal. Maybe not. Just whatever you want to do. I think it's pretty cool. I'll probably play around with it more with some different colors. I may try the flame portion of it. I think that it turned out kind of cool with the red and yellow. I don't know. I'll have to play around with it more and see what I can do. But you know what? Let's continue working on these things. I'll figure out some wheels and weapons and stuff and get these things back together, and then we'll get these things looking like some badass Gaslands machines, and we'll get them to the wastelands. Let's get them back together. Alright, so we're all back together now. Starting to look more and more like Gaslands. Next we're going to go on and do a little bit of chipping with the MIG from Jimenez. So again, just the sponge method. We're going to stick a little bit of the solution in our pot. Going to dip the sponge in the solution and then dab it on a paper towel until there's like hardly any on there. It's just looking spotty. And then we will dab it on the cars to give it some chipping effects, like so. And we'll do that around the rest of the vehicle. So let's get these things chipped up. Alright, we're all chipped up and ready to go. Looking pretty good. Looking more and more wastelands. Kind of covered up some of the new stuff, but we'll maybe have to touch it up a little bit later on with some more weathering. Next, we're going to get on some wheels and weapons. Got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Keeps coming and going and going. So we're going to get all this painted up in black, and then we're going to dry brush all the armor and the weapons and stuff and get the wheels all ready to go, and then we'll start getting these babies back together. Let's do this thing. Alright, so here we are with all the pieces and parts and everything else. Not sure exactly what all I want to use on there. I think I painted up a little bit too much stuff, but that's okay. I know some stuff I am going to use, so let's start getting these all together, and then we'll do a little bit more weathering on there, get some rust and everything on there. I think I'm going to give the Newsh one more shot with the orange for the rust, so we'll see how that goes. But first, let's get all this thing, all the things going on here. We'll get these builds back together and start getting them more like Gaslands vehicles. Let's do it. All right. We're all back together, looking pretty good. Just got to do some final rusting and whatnot on there. Loving those weapons, just looking outstanding. Very cool. So, like I said, I'm going to do one more round with the Newsh, doing it with some orange, just regular orange from Monument, for the rust effects, and seeing how that looks. And before we do any more final weathering on there, so let's do a little more Newshing, and we'll see how it looks. Let's do it. Alright, we're all nooshed up and ready to go. Gonna do a little bit more weathering with the Vallejo rust, and then finish up with some accumulated dust by AK, of course, making it all finished up and looking good. So let's get this rusted up, and we'll get these things all finished and ready to go. But yeah, I would say we're like 99% there. Let's finish up some weathering. Alright, and there we have it. A couple of badass Gaslands custom builds. This charger's looking really good. Loving how the yellow just turned out with the chipping and everything. Those weapons are just outstanding. Really looking forward to how the Newsh is going to turn out with doing some flames and stuff here in the future. That seems pretty cool. Seems like it's going to work out pretty well. The weathering stuff turned out pretty good. Charger turned out well. Loving the blue. Always love this light blue with the Monument Hobbies. You know what? If you enjoyed this video, you learned something, do me a favor, hit that like button. My goal is to do weekly videos, whether they're vehicle builds, train builds, whatever. So if that's for you, please hit the sub button below and ring the bell to get notified when new content drops. I do sell all my builds pretty inexpensively on my Etsy page, so if you want to pick something up or see what else I've done, you can even request a custom build. Until next time, keep your foot on the gas and your finger on the trigger. Gaslands NorCal, signing out.